In many parts of India, picking up a bottle of alcohol isn't a transaction with a private business, it's an interaction with the state. You can see the scale of that demand in lines like this one, where government-run shops function as the primary supply point for millions. This chart shows the sheer weight of that demand on the state budget. In Tamil Nadu, the government monopoly, known as TASMAC, generated over 48,000 crore rupees in a single year. That makes liquor the second largest source of revenue for the entire state. But that financial windfall comes with a documented social cost. Local reports and academic surveys have begun to track the fallout, from high school student dismissals for intoxication to a surge in alcohol-related violent crime. The public sentiment has shifted so far that a recent survey found 56% of the state's youth now explicitly want these government retail outlets closed permanently. This creates a difficult cycle. The state uses billions in alcohol revenue to fund the very welfare programs meant to support its people, effectively paying for the community's safety by relying on the product that erodes it. It's a strange paradox. Newly elected Chief Minister Vijay built his campaign on an ambitious promise to deliver a drug-free Tamil Nadu. He didn't wait long to act. Within days of his swearing-in, he signed an executive order to shut down 717 specific liquor shops across the state. To tighten the grip, he also mandated strict Aadhaar-based ID checks at the remaining counters, aiming to rigidly enforce the state's 21-year legal drinking age. But his administration is balancing that moral mandate against a grim financial reality. This scale shows the dilemma: the lost revenue from those shops versus a massive inherited public debt of 10 lakh crore rupees. Shutting down shops might fulfill a campaign promise, but with the state's budget already in the red, it creates an immediate ultimatum. Can a new government afford to execute its moral mandate when doing so threatens to bankrupt the treasury? To understand how the state got into this position, you have to look at what TASMAC actually is. It is a total monopoly. The government controls the wholesale supply and the retail sale of every bottle of liquor in the region. This wasn't always the case. The state originally turned to this monopoly model because previous attempts at total prohibition led to a deadly black market. Bootleg methanol poisonings were claiming lives, and the government decided that taking over the supply was the only way to ensure safety. This diagram shows the structural bind the state created for itself. The government stepped in to regulate safety, but once it became the sole provider, the guaranteed daily cash flow eventually became a permanent fixture in the budget. By attempting to solve a public safety crisis, the state inadvertently became the region's largest liquor peddler. Now it is trapped in a cycle where its own finances are dependent on the vice it was trying to control. This map of the current closures shows that the government is being very precise. The 717 targeted shops are all located within a short radius of schools, temples, and busy bus stands. Removing these specific outlets immediately clears away a visible public nuisance, which helps the administration secure political favor with women and youth voters without having to ban alcohol entirely. There's also a proposal on the table to move the daily closing time from 10 p.m. up to 8 p.m., further limiting late-night incidents and noise. However, look past the 717 closures and the picture changes. Over 4,000 TASMAC shops remain fully open across the state, untouched by the new order. By executing these specific closures, the government delivers a high-impact moral message to the public without actually severing its primary financial lifeline. It is a masterclass in political optics. This strategy isn't new. In 2016, former Chief Minister Jayalalitha used the exact same move, shutting down hundreds of shops immediately after her swearing-in to secure a quick political win. This chart follows the results of past closures. Even as retail shops step downward, alcohol revenue climbs. Closing doors just moves customers to the next counter. This shaded area represents the massive revenue gap if the government let that income drop. To survive that gap, the state needs step 2, a structural overhaul of the entire economy. It would mean ruthlessly plugging leaks in commercial taxes and finding entirely new revenue streams to replace the alcohol money. Until that happens, closing a few shops is just a symbolic gesture. True public welfare requires building a sustainable economy that does not require the systematic addiction of its citizens to survive.